Woody, it didn't seem like Dane could ever really find a groove today. What wasn't working for him out there?
You could tell he was kind of trying to be a little too fine with his sinker. He really couldn't find command of it, and then I felt like the slider backed up on him a few times. The homer to Buxton, ended up in where the pitches prior to that were trying to get it away from him. But yeah, I mean he was kind of all over the place more than he's usually got decent command, especially with his sinker. He did battle. Unfortunately, the third inning, the 2-out walk, and then to give up the hit to Kepler, kind of obviously with Joey, ball getting by Joey allowed another run to score, but at the same time, those runs, you got to get Kepler out right there. We got 2 outs, keep us in the game, but overall, just not his best day, but. That's one thing that Dane usually does. He keeps us in the game, even when he's not good or not as good as he normally is. And he just, like I said, didn't have his command today.
Really uncharacteristic day from Joey in the field. Was there anything you could point to? Is he feeling okay?
No, I mean, listen, this guy's, he's one of our hardest playing guys. He takes a lot of pride in his defense, and he's trying to make things happen. He's swinging the bat really good right now. He's as frustrated as anybody. I've talked to him a few times about this, and the thing is, like, he feels like some of it's the weight on his shoulders. I got to make something happen. I got to make a play, kind of like Kiner in the 3-0 count, which I wanted him to swing, but just make sure it's a good pitch. Joey's trying to make things happen out there, and I can't fault him for that. This guy plays hard every day. He plays with intent out there. He doesn't take a pitch off. He takes a lot of pride in his defense. But yeah, I mean, he came and apologized. I said, "Don't you apologize, man." I said, "You go hard every time." It's one of those things where he's trying to keep that guy from scoring, and it ended up the ball getting by him. But I have no problem. Joey's one of our best guys, obviously, that brings it every day.
And on the second one, do you want to see that aggressiveness?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if he has them right there, but a lot of times the hitter doesn't realize the catcher's there. It takes a pretty significant turn around first base, and he sees Nate kind of in his over here. He's like, well, nobody's at first base, and heads up by Trevino being there. So I've seen that play result in out quite often, and Joey, like I said, sees a lane there, saw a window, he thought he could get it in there. But I have no problem with that, to be honest with you. The run didn't end up scoring, but at the same time, I don't have a problem with him being aggressive on that.
We had 431 Statcast did on his home run.
It seems a little light to me. I don't think the other one I saw that he hit, I think last year, the first homer here, ended up, maybe 20 feet to the right of that, and I don't know how far that one was recorded at, but you don't see too many balls go up that high. If you hit him halfway up the stands, it's a pretty good poke. He hit it over that, so I have a hard time believing 431.
Other questions? Please raise your hand. Chris.
What are you seeing from Jason Martin right now?
Probably, similar to a lot of guys. They're pressing a little bit. At some point you got to kind of say, who cares, and go up there with the game plan and not be afraid to fail. But listen, I know a lot of these guys know that their time here is at stake. You know what I mean? And J Mart's kind of no different from everybody else. And I think right now he's just trying a little too hard. He's pressing. I'd like to see the freed up version I saw in spring training, even a few times, obviously, in that Dodger series. But it's part of the game, man. Like, this is something that, as a player, you're going to have to go through, and you're going to have to establish yourself sometimes in a maybe a tough environment. Listen, I mean, I loved our energy before the game. I loved everybody, being positive, and, I felt like it just didn't transfer, obviously, into some of our bats. But that's, if you're going to play at this level, you're going to have to deal with the difficulty that comes with it, good and bad. And, I still believe in the kid. I love what he brings every day. But at the same time, like, he's got to free himself up at some point to be able to perform.
Talking about your options for the rotation as the season goes along, stretching John King out, is Taylor another guy you could take a look at to possibly stretch out a little bit more? He had the 2 innings today, didn't seem to do well, or are you considering changing his role down the stretch?
It's something we've discussed for sure. I think as a group, I don't think right at the moment we'd probably do that, but if circumstances change where there's an opening, or maybe we just see, maybe we just keep it at 2 or 3 innings at times, and that's kind of basically the role we've been using him in. We could extend that as we go. But as of right now, it's not in the immediate future, meaning the next week or two. But after that, we'd consider it maybe.
Kennedy.
Hey, Woody. I was thinking, like, it seems like on the offensive end, it seems to be we're getting production. We're seeing production from pretty much the same, names overall. What are you seeing there, I guess, top to bottom offensively, and how things have kind of played out?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at my card. It's, obviously Adolis and Joey right now. Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're going to be a complete offense, we got to get production from everybody, and everybody has their own issues as far as what they're doing well, what they're not, how they're getting pitched, how they're adjusting. But at this level, you're going to have to be able to, especially nowadays, be able to hit different pitches, and if you don't, you're going to get exposed a little bit. And we have some guys really trying hard to make some adjustments, and other guys still learning. If I'm going to look for a breaking ball, where does it need to start? And not just swing at it no matter where it is. And I think that's it sounds simple, but in the heat of the moment, it's a difficult task. But we need to if we want to win games consistently, like, we're going to have to get production up and down the lineup. Like, we can't just rely on a couple heavy hitters. First of all, it's too much pressure on them. But at the same time, like, sometimes they're allowed to have a day where they go 0 for 4. We're, like I said, we're not going to win consistently if we continue to have just production from a few guys.
It seems like we got the full Joey Gallo experience today. He walked, he homered, he struck out, he singled. I mean, what do you make of Joey's season as a whole, I guess, at this point?
It's progressing nicely, like, to a positive note. I know that early on, he was walking a ton and he wasn't slugging a ton, but I think right now what we're seeing is, and you're even seeing, like, even the foul balls, he's putting a lot more balls forward. He's on a lot more pitches. Today, you saw him it wasn't a fastball that he hit. It was an off-speed pitch that, he hit really far. But you're just seeing more consistency, I think. And I think just in general, like, his attitude is a lot more calm right now. And that's typical when Joey's doing well. He is pretty calm. And, you're starting to see that right now. So, tomorrow's a new day in baseball, I think, just considering that some things might happen, that, it may change. Maybe guys were considering using things up until this point, and so I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow brings, or suspensions, or throughout the league, but like I said before, I think Joey will benefit from that, if the game is cleaned up.
Back to Chris.
Yeah, just one follow-up off of what Kenny was asking about with Joey. Listen, you were with him in 2019 whenever he went on that tear. Is this the same? Is this a better version of Joey, or is it just hard to compare what he was then to what he is now?
Yeah, I think it is a better version. I do, and I know he was a 1,000 OPS guy for the most part that whole year. And it was just constant production with homers, with walks, and getting on base. And but I think the stuff that he's learned over the last couple of years, I think he caught the league caught him off guard a little bit that year. He didn't chase at all. He went from a guy who chases everything to a guy who chased nothing in 19. And I think the league had a really hard time adjusting to that. And then with the stress of, like, this guy can hit the ball to the moon, like, you just saw a lot of walks, and even in hitters, he was feeling really good about himself. But he's had to learn so much in the last, year and a half, and especially this year. And I think just there's a complete version of Joey right now. Like I said, there's a little bit more of a calmness about him, that he kind of understands who he is, what they're trying to do to him, how he's going to do that, what his holes are. And like I said, tomorrow may be a different, beginning to his career. I mean, I don't know, like I said, what the future holds as far as what the game looks like, but if it's a lesser version of a lot of pitchers, that's only going to benefit Joey to being able to put the bat on the ball. If that's the case, I mean, his confidence is going to skyrocket.
Alex.
Hey, just curious, in the ninth inning with pinch hitting Willie for Eli, did you like Willie's chances better to reach than Eli's speed?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously the right-left there. It's a tough matchup for Eli. I still want to see Eli. Listen, I like what I'm seeing, but, I obviously want to see what more of this guy can do. And, in that situation, I really thought, Willie's our best chance to get on base right there. you know, just the right-left matchup. It's a good matchup for Willie.